So, the ironmaster, when he took off the peddler's hat, he mistook him as an old acquaintance, Niels Olive. The peddler didn't know him, nor had he seen this man before. Peddler was not knowing the ironmaster. But he thought that if this man mistook him as his old companion and gave him some money out of pity, then it would be a good thing. And therefore, he did not let him know that he had mistaken him as Niels Olive. So the peddler started a conversation with the ironmaster by saying that things didn't went well with him. To this, the ironmaster replied that he had made a big mistake by leaving the regiment. So he's talking about the past events and happenings. He also added that if he would have been working in the regiment when he resigned, he wouldn't have let him do so. Later on, he invited him, the ironmaster invited the Rattrap seller to his home. The Rattrap seller didn't find it to be a good idea to visit the ironmaster's place. He was frightened with the idea of visiting to the large house of an old soldier, which according to him was not safe. After all, he had the stolen money with him. He didn't want to put himself in danger. His intentions were to sleep in the forge and then go away from there without even being noticed. The ironmaster was aware of his friend's miserable condition. The ironmaster is just thinking that this person is my old friend. So he tried to make him comfortable by saying that he should feel free to come his home, as his home was an ordinary one. He told him that his wife was no more and added that he must be aware of this. Then he let him know that both his sons were settled abroad. Only he and his daughter were left at home. He invited him to celebrate Christmas with his family. And at that time or so, he and his daughter may have some good company at the Christmas feast. Why he is inviting the peddler? Because he feels that he, means the ironmaster, and his daughter can have some person or a good company to celebrate Christmas. Though the ironmaster made many attempts to invite him, the peddler didn't accept his invitation because he was knowing the reality. Who is he? Okay, and what can happen to him? So because of that, he is not willing to accept the invitation. So at last, he says to the blacksmith, Sergeant Strom, that it seemed that Captain Von Stale, means the peddler, wanted to stay with him in the forge. Then he laughed and went away. But the blacksmith knew that he was hiding something. After a gap of half an hour, the ironmaster sent his daughter. He hoped that his daughter may bring his friend home, as he believed that she was better in persuading others. See, this is, the art of a writer. He brings characters in front of us with some peculiar qualities which suits to the narrative. Here, daughter has become a very crucial part of the story, and she is given a characteristic of persuading people. She is able to convince people very easily. This is the characteristic given to her, and that plays a very vital role here. The ironmaster's daughter entered the mill with her attendant, who was carrying a big fur coat. She was a humble girl who was very shy. When she entered, everyone was busy the same way as they had been earlier. The blacksmith was still sitting on the bench with his trainees, and was working on the iron. She went up to the peddler and lifted his hat. The peddler slept with one eye open, and as soon as he saw her, he got shocked and jumped up. She introduced herself as Edla Williamson and was sorry to hear about the hard times that he was facing. She explained to him that she had come to take him home with her father's permission. Edla had sympathy for the peddler, but then she noticed that the reason behind his fear could be either he had committed robbery or jailbreak. So she said that he was free to leave their house at any time, but she wanted him to stay with the family just for Christmas Eve. Edla was talking to peddler in a very nice way, which made him believe her, and he got ready to go with her. The peddler wore the fur coat offered by the valet and started following the lady. He didn't even bother to notice the other people in the room. On the way to the house, the peddler felt that as he had committed a crime, he would be punished for it. He started cursing himself that if he had not stolen the money, he would not have got trapped like this. The money was a bait which had led him into a trap. The next day was Christmas Eve. Both the ironmaster and his daughter were at the dining table. The ironmaster said to his daughter that they had to do something good for the peddler and should try to find some better job for him. The ironmaster's daughter said that it was strange to see that the peddler had been in such hard times and was doubtful whether the man had been educated. Hearing this, the ironmaster clarified that it was due to his bad condition. He also added that the man would behave differently after getting clean and dressed up. While both father and daughter were discussing about the peddler, he entered the room with the valet. He was looking clean as he had bathed and his hair had been cut by the valet. He was wearing the ironmaster's clothes and shoes, a shirt with a starched collar and shoes which covered the entire feet. The ironmaster seemed very angry to see his well-groomed guest. What happened? Suddenly, the ironmaster, who was willing to have somebody at the Christmas Eve, had become very angry. And that too at the guest. Why? As he could make out his appearance, the wanderers or the Rattrap seller's appearance well. He realized that he was not his comrade. He understood that he mistook some stranger as his old friend. He screamed at him and asked him to explain. The peddler knew that the ironmaster could make out that he was not his old friend. As he already knew this, he was ready for the consequences and felt that the luxurious treatment was about to end. The peddler tried to explain that he should not be blamed. He said that he was just begging for a stay in the forge. He also said that he had not harmed anyone and was ready to wear his rags again. To this, the ironmaster hesitated and said that the peddler had not been quite honest and so he wanted to call the sheriff. The Rattrap gets so enraged upon hearing about the sheriff that he struck the table very hard with his feast. He said that this world is a rat trap and all the good things are a bait, just like the rinds of cheese and the small pieces of pork are a bait for the rat which are offered to trap it. Not only this, he also pointed out to the ironmaster that he may today be imprisoned by the sheriff, but one day the ironmaster will also get trapped like this. The ironmaster didn't like the peddler's words and decided not to call the sheriff. He asked the peddler to leave at once. The ironmaster's daughter stopped the peddler. She wanted to help the poor fellow. Since morning, she was planning how she could make the peddler's day happy on the occasion of Christmas. Therefore, she went against her father's will and stopped him by closing the door. She tried to explain the difficulties faced by the peddler. She said that he didn't have any house. He was turned out from wherever he went. He was turned out from wherever he went, and he always kept on running in order to safeguard himself from being arrested. She said that she wanted him to enjoy Christmas with peace as they had promised him. They should not send away a man on Christmas, the man whom they had promised happiness on the day. The ironmaster was not able to find an answer to go against his daughter. Even as I told you, she was having a good convincing power, and this time also she convinced her father. The only thing he could say to his daughter was that she was trying good at convincing others. What he is saying that his daughter is good at convincing others, better than the priest at the church. Okay, she is very good. But he also warned her that hopefully her decision would not bring any adverse effect on him. The girl took the peddler to the table and she offered him food. She saw that her father had consented to her wish. The peddler didn't say any word and started eating. Though he was doubtful about her intentions and he was wondering why she stopped him. The peddler went to sleep after having food. He did not cause harm to anyone and lay down on the sofa in the guest house. He was once woken up in the afternoon, but after having his lunch, he again went to sleep. It was like as if he had never got the chance to sleep so peacefully as he had got at this place. In the evening, the family woke him as they had to light up the Christmas tree. He stood there blinking as if he was getting hurt by the bright light of the candles. He again went to sleep. Finally, they called him again for the dinner of Christmas fish and porridge. After the dinner was over, the peddler thanked everyone who was present there. The ironmaster's daughter said that the clothes which were given to him were a Christmas present for her from her father, so he could carry those clothes with him. She even invited the peddler to be with her family for the next Christmas Eve and promised that nothing bad would happen to him. The peddler did not have an answer for this and stared at the girl with wonder. Next day, both ironmaster and his daughter went for the Christmas service early in the morning. They didn't disturb their guest as he was asleep. Both Ironmaster and his daughter had come to know that a Rattrap seller had stolen money from the old crofter. They realized that the person who is staying at their house, he was the same man, okay, to whom they had uh, provided some service as a guest. So the same man had stolen the money. They realized. The ironmaster said that it was his daughter who insisted to give shelter to a thief, and was wondering that how many silver spoons had been stolen by him. So he just feels that if this person who is at home, given shelter by them, is a thief, he has stolen money from that crofter, it can happen, or there is a possibility that this person may steal things from their own house. The ironmaster, on reaching home, inquired about the peddler from the village. He also told him that he was a thief. To his surprise, the valet told him that the peddler, instead of taking something, had left a small Christmas gift for Miss Wilmanson. The ironmaster's daughter opened the gift. It was so roughly packed that she could easily guess what was inside the packet or the pack. Apart from a rat trap and 3 kroner notes, there was a letter. So which things he have kept there? It was a rat trap, 3 kroner notes which he had stolen from that crofter, and one more thing was there, that there was a letter too. The peddler had thanked his host, who had taken care of him as if he was a real captain. In return, he gifted her, the host or the daughter of that ironmaster, he gifted her a rat trap and also requested her to return the stolen money to the old man. He said that it was she who let him free from the rat trap by raising his status from that of a mere peddler to that of a captain. At least for few minutes, he led the life, okay, of a captain. He got those moments to live because of that daughter. At last, he undersigned as Captain Von Stale. So this was a very nice, very interesting story written by Selma Lagerlof. It's one of my favorite stories. Hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you so much.